your brother, your friend, your dietitian, back again for another installment in spirit nutrition. Today, I want to talk to you about this week's read. 16 video challenge. Nothing but game for y'all, nothing but premium content. So, I want to talk to you today about a book I'm reading for this week. My time's almost up for this week because it's actually the start of next week tomorrow. Technically, Sunday is the first of the week, but I'm gonna read it through Sunday and probably start a new one on Monday. But this book is called The Millionaire Next Door: The Secrets of the Wealthy in America. I can't remember the exact subtitle, but it's written by a man I think named Thomas Stanley, PhD, and it's co-written by another author. But the book is really intriguing because I've heard about the book before, but it didn't really resonate with me because it seemed kind of gimmicky, and it seemed like it was just really oversimplified, and it was just like the story of millionaires next door. But so far it's been a great read. I'm halfway through. I'm gonna finish it this weekend. But what I found is that the book actually is great. It has a lot of good info because it's based off of the statistics and research done by the two authors who are PhDs. They spent a fifth of their life in school studying economics and things like that to get their PhD. But then they went on and they studied for these big firms and these firms that cater to the wealthy. They studied the wealthy. They figured out the habits of millionaires. What they found out was that most millionaires don't live the lifestyle that's glamorized on television. Most millionaires became millionaires because they lived beneath their means or below their means, and they were frugal, as well as being very net worth oriented, and they were focused on how to increase their bottom line, which is their net worth. They weren't focused on conspicuous consumption, which means consumption with the motive of showing off, buying flashy Rolex watches, Porsche trucks, just to show their wealth. They focus on more so about generating wealth, buying assets and creating opportunities. So it tells the story of two doctors, Dr. North and Dr. South, right? It's funny because Dr. North is an upward moving person, or doctor, and Dr. South is a downward moving person in terms of his net worth. And so Dr. South and Dr. North both make about three-fourths of $1 million a year, meaning they make like $750,000 a year. But although they're both high income producing, they both have different practices and habits. So Dr. South is into the conspicuous consumption. He wants to be fresh. He wants to show people that he lives a certain lifestyle. He lives at a certain standard, right? So that means he has a $30,000 yearly mortgage. That's actually not that much nowadays because the book was written a while ago, but let's say it's $60,000 instead of $30,000. So he has a $60,000 yearly mortgage, or maybe a $70,000 to $80,000 yearly mortgage. He has like 6 cars, luxury vehicles. His wife, they have credit cards or cards at Neiman Marcus, Bloomingdale's, Saks Fifth, all the top stores. And it's all about consumption. In order to get more money, he works more. He works harder. But his net worth is really low. It's only maybe a couple million. But being that he makes three-fourths of $1 million every year, his net worth should be way higher. And he's in his 50s, right? So now you have Dr. North, who is actually not a conspicuous consumer. His wife is really into budgeting. She makes sure she knows every spending category to a T. She knows what goes in, what goes out, what they spend money on clothes, how much money they spend money on clothes, how much money they spend on electronics, bills, entertainment. Everything is documented. It's tracked. And in addition to that, they're not into conspicuous consumption. They drive a Benz, but it's a used Benz. It's a little bit older, maybe 3 or 4 years old, and it's well taken care of. They have a home that's nice, but they're not living above their means. They're living like someone who is making $250,000, but they're making $750,000. So they're living probably on a third of their income, and they're saving and investing the rest. So there's more principles in the book, but I would really recommend that you read it. There's something called a prodigious accumulator of wealth and under accumulator of wealth, I think it's called. He calls them PAWs and UAWs. So a PAW and a UAW. PAW is Dr. North. He has high net worth. His is in the millions, way higher in the millions. And then you have someone who is a UAW who may have a high income, but their net worth is low. So Dr. North, he focuses on investments. His spare time is spent on figuring out how to increase and improve his financial situation. Dr. South is more in tune with consumption, focused on the latest car, the latest flashy resort spot for vacation, things like that. So to take from this and extrapolate this for professionals, as maverick millennials, hustlers, go-getters, hambrientes, hungry young people, I would say that you should try and live off of 70% of your income and invest the rest. Me personally, my goal this year is to live off of 50% of my income, which seems crazy, but it's not crazy at all. It just seems crazy to people who haven't sat down and tried to plan out their financial situation. If you look at the benefits of it, it doesn't seem outrageous or impossible. It's very doable. You just have to plan it and take action. So my goal is to do 50% saved and invested, and 50% living, like going out, eating, buying clothes, doing whatever I need to do. 50% of that, and then the rest invested. And when I say invested, I mean in either stocks or bonds if you're interested in that, real estate, or a business. It could be your business or someone else's business. So that type of investing, even if you're making a starting out salary as a young professional, you just graduated from college or you just landed a good job, you want to live like you're still in college. You want to live like you're broke. That's what who's the guy Mark Cuban, that's what Mark Cuban says. He says after college he lived on a floor or on a couch with some roommates and ate on a budget, and he was investing in his business the whole time. So it's the same hustle that you should adapt, you should do whatever you want to do. This is the same hustle that I've adapted and that I think has helped me and that I'm recommending, but you can do whatever you want. In fact, you can close the video if you want. But I think that it's been beneficial to me to live on less of my income and invest the rest of it, because what's going to happen is my investments eventually are going to give such a return that they will supersede the money that I'm making. The money I'm making from a job. They'll build up my net worth. And sometimes we get into this habit of saying, I'm making good money, so why not spend it? Why not raise my standard of living to meet my income? But really, you should live below your means and stack the rest, because then you'll raise up your net worth and you'll raise up your ability to do more. So that's just a little game for today. This week's read, Millionaire Next Door. Check it out. Read a book a week, family. Let's read a book a week. If you don't want to read a book a week, forget about it. But if you're down, let's read a book a week. Your brother, your friend, your dietitian, back again for another installment in spirit, nutrition, peace and blessings, good health, and mad wealth.